today, uh, well, let's go back in time. Last week, I had a little bit of, I got some stuff working pretty good, but I had a little bit of trouble with the animation montage and replication. So somebody would be woozy if they were the server, but they would not be woozy if they were the client, even though that tag seemed to be going through to the client. So, halfway through the week, Wednesday, I had what's called the midweek epiphany, and I fixed it all, but it's involved in quite a refactor. So it's pretty much what I'm going to do today is go through the refactor and then tell you what I did. So it involves I've gone too far with this explanation to myself. Let's start at the start. So I was on Discord looking up what could possibly be the reason why this thing wasn't going through, and somebody semi-related mentioned that their tags weren't completely being replicated. I know that's like the point of tags mostly, and it's actually not the reason I was having trouble, but it led me down this path. So if you remember what we had before, I think we have it here. We got, oops, double click, here we go. We had our attribute change, blah, 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 and we add and remove tags. Depending on what's happening. And then at some point, we also had an ability that watched for the tag to change and then performed its ability when the tag changed. And that's where it was falling down, because you could watch it get to that spot right after, not this one here, but the actual wait for tag added, and then nothing would happen. The montage would cancel on the server side. So that was weird. So I decided to try and get rid of that whole thing and say, okay, what do I know is replicated for sure? Effects and abilities. So I refactored it so that we are based on effects and abilities. So the first one I put in here was, we still have our wait for attribute changed. Only now we're applying gameplay effects. So where is it at? So we're applying gameplay effects, and then when that will remove the gameplay effects when the ability changes again. I'm using attribute change. Let me just double check. Yeah, that's the only one. Okay, wait for attribute changed. I check it, see if it's less than the value, and then add or remove effects. Or do I? Probably. So I've got this here. Where's my? It's been a long day. So if we go over to our begin play, you'll see something. We've got our begin play, blah, blah, blah. Apply gameplay effect to self. Apply gameplay effect to self. Capability. I don't call any of this stuff anymore. I don't call watch attribute less than apply to the tag, and I don't watch attribute less than apply to the effect. I don't that's where I started, but I ended up going this way. I'll show you what happened. So we have our first gameplay effect. That's the first thing we did is that we set our base values. Now I've got an effect called GE Hungry. So this is the what I've done is instead of having one effect for all the possible ways attributes going down, I've got one for each attribute. So in this case, I've got hungry, and that's going to affect your food. GE Hungry is there's no full blueprint. It goes down, blah blah blah, which is here, which we did before. It has different numbers, but just follow me here. But at the same time, I'm granting an ability, GA Hungry. And when this effect is removed, cancel the hungry going to happen. Some other ones it may happen, you'll see in a minute. So GA Hungry, what does it do? Well, there's no blueprint editor. There's these here. It says the attribute is food. The warning threshold is 25. It has a warning of gameplay effect Woozy, and doesn't have a 0 effect right now. So what this is if you go up here, the parent class is GA check attribute for effect. So we go in here, you can see here I am, I've got a weight attribute thing here. So this is I moved the checking the attribute over here. When you do it in an ability, it's got a nice kind of like it's slightly better than the one that's on the character. So you say less than the value, attribute less than the value, and it spits out like the comparison. So you don't have to have another comparison node over here. That's all it really saves you time on. So let's just ignore the top one for now. Just follow the bottom one. So we come in here, and if it's true, for every one, we add a new effect. And so this triggers on change. I have to double check if it does this all the time. That's one thing that we'll check out today. So it adds it to active effects. You add it to the owner, and then you add it to active effects. And when it goes off, you go to the active effects and you remove it all from the owner. So this is where you're actually okay, the hunger, the food has gone down enough that we have to worry about it. So in our hungry gameplay ability, warning threshold is 25. So at 25, when it's 25 or less, it'll apply the gameplay effect Woozy. So our gameplay effect Hungry is adding an ability. Gameplay ability Hungry is adding an effect. And I'll bet you that's right. This effect adds an ability and some tags, but mostly it adds an ability. And this ability also will cancel immediately. So once you stop being woozy, you lose this ability. So gameplay ability in general, you gain the ability to do something, but it doesn't activate right away. And you remember when we were doing stuff in here, we would do stuff like grant what? Oh, sorry. I don't want grant. Oh, wait. Give ability and activate once. So this is how we were adding ability and activating it right away. But as you can tell in the effect, we don't get an option to do that. So we went into C++ and made a new class, passive gameplay ability. And all that does is that is like, here it is. That's the whole thing. We override it on avatar set. On that. Right change. PP guest character. Ooh, it's weak. So the passive ability does nothing except for override on avatar set and then activate the ability. So we've taken the functionality of give ability and activate once, and we've made it part of the ability. What that means is that we can now say, hey, gameplay effect, grant this gameplay ability, and the moment you do that, it'll run that activation code. And in this case, it's this one, which is a child of this one, so it will immediately set up the attribute change watch and all this stuff that does our effects. So let's take a look at the gameplay effect woozy. Gameplay effect woozy, it just adds the gameplay ability woozy. Gameplay ability woozy, it's nothing but add montage and wait. And on this one, you can see stop when ability ends. So this animation montage we set to looping. So it's going to loop until the ability ends. When the ability ends, when the woozy play effect is removed. So we just add the woozy effect. This starts running. This montage should start running. If you remove it, this montage stops running. What that ends up looking like, as far as like our setup. So in here, I've got that base class checking for attribute, the attribute checking ability, and then for each attribute, we're going to have an effect about it and an ability about it. And the effect will just be the same kind of stuff as before, and the ability will have the stuff that checks the attribute and then applies a different effect depending on the attribute. And then over here, we have the same kind of setup where we have an effect for a particular health effect, and then an ability that will actually apply that onto the character. So if we give it a whirl, so I'm going, and we're on the client now. Roll up over here. First of all, our other abilities still work. Can still look. I can drop some evidence. And concludes. That all still works. And then when we get our food down past 25, both the client side and the server side, so you can see in the middle of the client there's a server woozy, and on the left hand side you can see that the client, as viewed from the server, is also woozy as expected. So I have suspicions about what's going on before. I think it's probably more along the lines that one of those ability tasks wasn't quite doing its job. But by using the kind of gameplay effect, gameplay ability kind of pairing there, it replicates great. I feel like it's a little bit easier to get your head around, like what's going to trigger what. It's like, okay, I have a gameplay effect. It's going to, a gameplay ability. Okay, that's cool. So that gameplay ability, if you add an ability that checks the attribute, then you know it's going to be checking an attribute. So that worked great, and I feel it's more gassy, if that makes any sense. It's more about just add an effect, remove an effect, check for effects, that kind of thing. A lot of this stuff is going to end up being just, oh, is it crashing me? A lot of stuff is just going to be checking effects, adding effects, that kind of thing. No, it didn't. It's just a screen. All right, so it feels more like I'm using gas, which maybe that's what it's meant to do. So the thing I told you to ignore before, the top part, what I'm doing here is that I am also doing a second check. So I've got one check that checks it at the warning, whatever you want to call that, and then it has a, if you look at this, it's actually an array of effects. So you can say do more than one thing and then do them. Now we have something called a zero effect. So I've got another weight up here, and when it is true, I fire the zero effect. I don't wait to remove it or anything. Whatever goes in here is just a basic effect and it has to be able to kill itself. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in it forever. And maybe it is. Maybe the thing is you die and now you're dead. That's the effect. Add tag dead. So that way we can set up, I haven't got it set up yet, but now you can set it up so that at 25 you get Uzi, and then at 0 you get passed out. And generally that I would say that the pass out effect and ability would like knock you out for a certain amount of time, and then we'll see what happens. Wake you up or what have you. So I had to write it down at the time, otherwise I would forget about it now. So yeah, so we've got the gameplay ability class that activates itself, therefore you don't have to use give ability and activate once. We've got gameplay abilities that check attributes. We've got a parent one, and then you just have to subclass that. We've got a gameplay effect for each attribute, which has the attribute checking gameplay effect. And then the Woozy is a gameplay effect which has a gameplay ability, that another passive one that activates itself, and all it has to do is play the montage, which is a lot simpler than what it looked like before. And going forward for other stuff like getting knocked out, or like applying different effects, and it'll be easier. So I have listed as next time, which is now this time. Make a passed out effect, and then making a glowing aura effect. I already started on the passed out effect, but it's a little bit wacko, so I'll let you see it because it's funny. So, I've got too many windows open. Let's close this all up. I also ended up moving a lot of this stuff into a folder called Party System, which is the system of you going to a party. So with this one, I play so that gets applied, and one of the things that gameplay effect has is that it grants the ability of being passed out. You know what else I'm going to do since I'm here? I'm also going to let's do this while I'm here. Grant tags to target actor. Boom. And what's the tag gonna be? Do I have one in here? I might have one in here. I might be smart enough to have passed out. There you go. So, and hopefully that'll do a thing where it's like, oh, you're passed out. So, passed out. What does that look like as a gameplay ability? So I tried to do this guy, and why it's funny. So I've got, when I activate it, we tell it to ragdoll, and then we stop ragdoll. So if we grab our character, we now have some ragdoll functions. So we've got stuff where we turn off capsule collision, we turn off movement, we turn on physics bodies, and then we update the ragdoll. And every tick, we are also updating the ragdoll in various ways. I am going to try something here, which is going to be what's a good number? What's that? 10. Let's make it 20. 8,000. It will be 6,900. There you go. What? So I walk a bit more, and you can see the character off to the side there. Hello. I have a button. Not that one. I have a button. It doesn't quite work. There's a little bit. It drops through the floor. Oh, great! Right. So it's not quite there. I think I have to. There's a couple of things we can try. What I'm gonna try first. Am I in start? I don't know. I think probably the first one I would set is keep collision on that enabled. Let's see what happens with that. At this point, I'm just kind of playing around trying to figure out how to get it to not look as absolutely. Oh no, we're right down the ground again. Even though I have capsule collision, well, that's interesting. So that doesn't care. Let's see, character movement none, physics body, collision enabled. So yeah, instead of like I think the fact that it drops through the floor until it hits this is that's something wrong. One thing I did do is part of like a tutorial when I was setting all this up, I did change the physics asset. So what I'm going to do, a really rough thing. I'm just going to put up that. Wait, I don't want to do this yet. Hold on. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to just discard changes on it. So then it will be the basic physics asset for Unreal Skeleton. So any changes I made, because I don't know. I was following a tutorial to see what would happen, but I didn't actually see until I got it all working. I didn't know what would happen. So I'm going to do this first, and then we'll see if the rest of the code works fine with the basic Unreal physics asset. If it'll ever load. Let's see. Does this do anything? Oh, it does. Ooh, interesting. All right, still at 35%. I'm sure there's like somebody will say the way to fix this is to get a beefier computer. It's probably all CPU. My CPU is the worst part of this machine because the GPU is not bad. I mean, it's not like a 4090 or anything like that. It's like a 6650 XT, but it certainly isn't the 1070 I had before. There we go. There we go. We're up to 71. You have to like you have to turn off Unreal Engine when you make a change like that, or Unreal Editor. Otherwise, you'll come back and I'll be like, "Do you want? Are you sure you want to save? Do you want to save this?" I'll be like, "No, I haven't even got to like. I just undid all that. Go away." 86. Almost there. Okay, here we go. So we got the original Unreal Engine physics asset. I'll bet this won't look any different at all, but I'm gonna try it. What's the worst that can happen? It falls through the floor and flies off into oblivion, but whatever. It's pretty close to doing that right now. It looks exactly the same. Oh, it's a little bit more unhinged. Oh, there he goes. Let's see if we can. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, it looks weird on here. Uh, no good. No good. I'm probably gonna like trash that. Um, so what I'd like to do is instead of that, I'm gonna try something completely different, which is a new gameplay effect. And this is going to be called gameplay effect. It's going to be called, let's see, what's the word I was using before? Oh, it's in my book. Hold on. I wrote it down. Okay. Do you need help? Clues, things. I had a thing. I had a thing. I swear I was like, I had written it down. Ooh, that was the word. Yes. So, if you played the board game Tragedy Looper, they use this the word unease, unease, and paranoia. So let's load this unease. Do I want all this? Probably not. gameplay effect, class defaults. It's going to be infinite, infinite for now. And then we're going to add gameplay tag. Add one to here. How do I get it to? I've done this before where like guest dot the guest will be unused. Oh, that works, does it? All right. Compile, save, close, rename because I think I like that word better. So the goal of this is that you're going to get to a point where other players will see you as having unease. So you'll have like a glow around you and they'll be like, oh no, bad thing. So I've got two ideas about how to do this. It's going to be like either a gameplay cue or a gameplay effect that uses like I think gameplay cue is probably better in this case. So that's what we're gonna probably learn today. There we go. So if you go down here, there's gameplay cues. We require modifier success and trigger cues. Suppress stacking cues, gameplay cues. So we're gonna go in here. Index four members. Oh my god. Magnitude attributes. Magnitude. We don't have one. Mid-level, max level gameplay cue tags. So it's a gameplay cue. Got a test. I was trying to do the wooziness through here as well. That was not a good idea. Let's add subtag. Now the gameplay cue dot. Unease. Unease. That's how we would probably do the unease, which is the gameplay tag, and then we do our gameplay cue, and then that would like create the uneasy effect around the player, and maybe some sound. I'm thinking of that anime sound that's just that. Something like that. But I haven't looked into gameplay cues at all. Is this a good time to do it? Who knows? Only the internet really knows. Let's see if they're easy or hard first. This doesn't. That's too deep. That's too deep. Of course. Let's see if our gas Bible has anything about gameplay cues. Effects. Pull down abilities, colors, granted abilities. Doesn't look like it, eh? Prediction. Oh wait, there's a whole section. Right. Typically replicated, unless explicitly executed locally. All right, we did that. One of those, right? We just did that. Okay, but we're not doing it through the ability, we're doing it through here. We're doing it through here right now. Gameplay cues? No. Gameplay parameters. So let's just play. What's the worst that can happen? Dun dun dun. Uh-oh. All right, so let's go with. I'm gonna put it here because why not? No wait. Cancel. Do I have anything in here? Gets. All right. So I do have things in there. I was gonna get rid of those, but no, let's keep them. Let's have things in there. New folder. Let's make one called. Let's try. Maybe it should be done. Excuse me. Okay, yeah, I talked about gameplay, but which one do we play? No help there. All right. Too deep in the weeds. I don't know where that thing came from. Something that happened last month or so on YouTube only. And I think it's only done that it's not connecting. It's not like jiving well with Firefox right now. there'll be updates at some point. Okay, so we set up gameplay effect just like we did. This is exactly what we did. This is what we are. Okay, so we know about the two options. Play queue, no play actor. After that response is printed to whatever actor the gameplay effect is taking place, and this hold continuous particle system that continuously spawns particles for as long as it's needed. So in our case, we're probably going to grab one of these. These are children of that. Gameplay. I'm going to look this one up. Gameplay queue notify looping. I'm just going to look that up because I have a feeling that's what I actually want. Excuse me. I'm going to click on it. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And we're going to call this GC. Oops. GC. And what is it? Unease. What a big U. Let's see what's in here. We've got a roots component. We've got a scene root. We've got self. We've got cleanup unease. Yeah. Knows that. Here's all of our. Okay. So let's skip ahead to the cave and see. You have to be Niagara system first, and that will spray out like particles that make you look uneasy. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. Okay, back to work. So we want to be spawning a system there. So let's ignore this part. So on, let's do really this. Let's be there. What are you gonna do about that? And we'll put in uneasy. Uneasy. All right. So if I hop back over here, and let's go back into the event graph. Go down here. We've got a button for a ragdoll. We decided we're going to scrap that for now. What we're going to use is event to apply effect Huh. Oh, sorry. Apply gameplay effect to self, and then the effect that will apply is gonna be unease. So now if I hit Q, instead of dropping to the ground, I want it to be, it's a something in the corner. That's kind of lame on a certain level, but that's what we're aiming for. There I am. I have unease. Nothing's happening. All right. That doesn't work the way I want. Let's delete that for a second. Actually, no, let's close this. We'll delete it and we'll go with the simple one, and just so we can see how it works from the start. Here, uneasy. And I think one thing we should probably do, this guy, let's make it a duration, and let's make it periodic, so that goes off every 2 seconds. Maybe that's how we need to set this up. Uneasy. Yeah, that's the way is what we. So then, if we set it up to like, all right, that's one for me. I'm not sure I want to start doing Niagara stuff right now. The other way I was thinking about doing this is like literal aura around the character. So if we look not up here. I've got some Ragdoll stuff open. YouTube, Unreal Engine, aura. Pick a sorry, it's a overlay, material overlay. see what we got here. Oh, did he find this monkey, or did he make it? So this is what I'm talking about, having an aura around it, maybe an outline around it. So how will they turn this off? I don't. How will I? I'm gonna open this one too. His got a better look to his. No, let's see how he's doing this. Let's follow us along, and then make sure we. Let's see, where's this going to go? I don't know. This is where I would put this. I'll put it here until I figure it out. You're getting into like weeds of like, oh, how do I arrange this hierarchy of files? I don't want to get too deep in the weeds right now. Let's call this. I'm just gonna call it aura. That's not aura. And then open them up just like he's got. If I, oh, 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 oh. I've never opened up material editor on the computer ever. I think the last time I actually opened up the material editor was like the last time I like seriously looked at like Unreal Engine, like Unreal Tournament 2001. And that's just like, that might be a false memory because I don't remember there being a material editor in Unreal Engine 2001. So if anybody wants to call me out on that, go ahead. So we already had post-process. See, this is the way that I was reading up during the week, that this is how a lot of, oh, that's the wrong one. Post-process. So essentially, this will be applied after like other stuff. Ooh, is that what it's supposed to look like? I don't know. Oh, let's see if that's it. That's going quite far to the left. Give us some space. First thing we do, oh my, scalar, so we're going to hold. Let's follow him, and I'll see what we get. So he wants me to go very far to the left. I don't know if we have to go that far to the left. I'll go this far to the left. How's that? And that was, I'll make it a little. A little bit less. It looks a little bit better. A little bit newer. Default value, because I like them thick. Let's go 0.75. That'll be a nice giant. Oops. Oh, that too. All right. Because essentially we're trying to like really point out that there's something wrong with the person. Multiply. All right. View size. Right click. Get view size. That's interesting. All right. Well, let's go back. So we're going to multiply by the view size. There you go. One thing that I do tend to do is I remember in an Unreal Engine you can do things like, oh, not that one, like that. I add a couple of shortcuts. You type in if, it brings up, ooh, what is this? If you do that like in here, I believe, oh, no, not in here. But on an event graph, if you do it, it'll bring up branch because it knows that's kind of like what you're thinking of. I'll type thing, I get everything else. All right. Clamp it. Get the ceiling and clamp it between 1 and 2. Let's take a look. So we want to take the ceiling of this. Hold on. Oh. Oh. Ceiling of this. Clamp it between 1 and 2. This technique is all up here. All right. So let's try and figure it out because he's just telling us what to do. So we've got the view size. We're getting making it seal is like rounding only, like, so you know how you round something, you say, oh, if it's less than half, you round up or round down. If it's more than half, you round up. So there's two associated functions. There's a floor and ceiling. So if it's like 0.5, if you do a floor of 0.75, it will always go down to something. It won't go up to the next one, even though it's past half. And then ceiling is supposed to be, if it's 0.00001, it's still past the first one, so it'll go all the way to the next one. So if you go 1.2, the ceiling of 1.2 should be 2 because that's the next one all the way up. So I'm wondering, one is seal in here. Oh, let's find out. Is yeah. So you should get an integer, and then we're gonna clamp it between 1 and 2. All right, whatever. So it's either gonna be 1 or no. Wait. Yeah, it's gonna be 1 or 2. That's it. 1 or 2. 1 or 2. All right. I'm getting it. I don't know how this is gonna help us, but let's find out. Okay, so we're gonna have 1 or 2. So whatever we got, line width is going to be either line width or double the line width. And that's going to go into another multiplier. Scene texel size. Straight into there. All right, so let's head back to here. So that's going to be multiplied by the scene texel size. Is there, and if it's another multiply, oh, because there's no multiple on there, right? I can't add a pin. That'd be nice though, because I mean, this would be this like multiply and blah, 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 blah. But alas, I'm gonna put these on the same row. Rest assured, those will be on the same row, and these can be on the same row because that's the kind of guy I'm being today. All right, so we're gonna multiply that by scene texel size. So I understand this is this process. Essentially, we've done all the like maths for displaying a 3D image, and we are doing a lot of math set up on like the final image. But because we're doing it within the engine, we kind of know where the 3D stuff is, and we can use that to draw into that final image. RGB. Oh, there you go. Blue and alpha. And then green. Subs. We've got a mask. He wants to set up a mask. Ooh, maybe he was right. Maybe I do need to move back. That's all right. I've got lots of space. It's infinite. I don't know if it's infinite. I don't know how much space to get in Unreal Blueprint mask. Was it this one? Yes, it was. And then he's bringing that up there. Just R. He's bringing this one down. Just G. And he was going to, what was this? Append. And it was append vector? Yeah, all right. I think he's doing just this just for like looks. We don't know what his parameter is. That's the whatchamacallit. That's the sauce. I'll bet if I push Q on this, it's gonna go to hell. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah. All right, never mind. It was close. It was close. All right, what's this magical value in the middle? What is it? What is it? You can tell me? You're not gonna tell me. This is random. No, you can't do that. And then next thing you know what's happening. Matt, help me out here. And we're multiplying again. Okay. I assume these are going to be things that are gonna. You better come back to this. Matt. You better come back to this. Inquiring minds want to know. Ooh, oof, oof. No good. No good. All right. Let's. There we go. Oh, that's definitely go. Okay. I've been following this guy for like a year and a half, and I'm kind of upset he's not telling me what those parameters are. I hope they come from here. All right. Oops. This is got a screen position. He's gonna put up here, and he's pulling out. Was it the mask again? He doesn't do anything to that one, but then he's gonna add a bunch of ads. Okay. What is he gonna do with them? That's the question. What does it all mean? Okay, so he's got wait. He's got that going into the top of everyone, right? So he's got the screen position, and oops, he's got that getting, he's got that getting added, and then which one it adds to depends on the branch here. So one of them is getting added to this guy, right? Let's take a look. Yes, the next one is added to the next one. And the same thing on this side. Explain what's happening here to me, or do I have to guess? I figured out the other one, not that I like enjoyed it. No, I'm not gonna bother with this right now until I figure out what the hell you're doing to me, Matt. I know connect, but why? That's the bit I'm asking for. What's param? What's param one? Let's make himself some more room. Better make yourself some more room too. Why? No opposition to the genius switch, my friends. Yeah, gotcha. Screen pixel size. We did one of those, and we know. Let's switch back to custom text. Screen text size. So we're gonna do a screen text. Nope. That's wrong. That's wrong. Am I wrong? It's even screen texture custom. Screen. I'm gonna rewind a bit and see what it gets. Let's rewind. What do you type in? Put a scene texture. Do you see that one? Oh, scene texture. There we go. I just can't read. That's the problem here. All right, and you set it to user custom. Ooh. Custom depth. There it is. I can read. I can read. Five of them. I feel like. Oh, there we go. I forgot it shows up at like your mouse pointer. Because I've had them just like I've used like, Escape. It just kind of makes it slightly off to the side. I'm like, well, what does that? And knows where my mouse is because I'm dumb and don't notice shit like that. I wonder if that's probably not this way. It's not Q, that's for sure. All right. So he's got 5, and I've got 5. What are you gonna do with those 5, man? You got 4 now. You got 5. All right, that I understand. That's why I figured once you got them lined up there, that's the spot. Yeah. Four subtractions. Well, let's see if we can do 4 subtractions. Okay. And he's gonna subtract. What's he gonna subtract? Or he's gonna do something weird. Color and add it into there. All right, so we're making. Whoa. Oh, they're all going into. All right. Oh, I see. He's doing something like the before, where he's got this one where it comes with color from the screen. Scene texture comes in, and we're modifying it like different components. Essentially, we're modifying it and slamming it back together. All right, that's more straightforward than the last bit, especially since you haven't told me what param and param1 are. These magical numbers with no like rhyme or reason. I shouldn't complain so much. Like a lot of like, you haven't seen me click on his stuff on stream a lot. I click on his stuff off stream a lot. He's very concise, and he also does a thing where every month he goes to see what's new and sees if it's actually like worth it or what kind of stuff is in there, which is nice. If you're not aware of the Unreal Marketplace, called Fab, has all these little things where like every month we'll have some values into one value. All right. So every month they have free stuff on there, and he'll take a look and see what it is and what it's all about. So he's gonna probably turn this all into one number, which means there's another one over here, right? So it's gonna be like add that to that, add this to this, and add these two to this. This is what I hadn't shown you that second part. I'm pretty sure that's where we had it after it's in the edge angle. Let's look at this. It's divided by the edge angle. So we're going to take this and we're going to, oops. Where's divide? it's shit, guys. It's on the keyboard. It's on the keyboard. It doesn't even have like special keyboard command. It's just like this part is going to make sense because edge angle is going to be whether it's facing away from you or not, and whether the edge that you're looking at should be drawn. So it's going to be something like that's how you get outline as opposed to having every like edge of every piece of geometry like lit up. That part I understand. I will rename this. That is definitely where he's heading with this. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Ooh, that's more zeros than I meant. Oh, that's a flaw on my keyboard that only does Alt Tab. It hold down Alt. It's just like Alt Tab. Divide and then subtract. That's a mood. Subtract 1. That's the number that we want. Therefore, that's like the number that you get. And clamp it. Zero and 1. Which already is. So we're going to leave it there. So let's hop back over here. Let's tighten this back up a little bit. So this part is about, once we have this thing in here, this part is about whether the edge of the 3D object is facing us, I think, or not. And then deciding whether it should have a color at all. Processed input 0. So let's loop. Let's keep a loop. A vector, which we choose to color with. All right. That sounds good to me. This way. Sorry, it's vector with a color. I like this a little bit pukey, pukey, but not pukey. Pukey. But as he said, we'll convert that into a parameter called, and in our case, we're going to call it or color. Hey, when I learn how to use a keyboard. Give ourselves a little bit more space up here. And we'll make people color. Actually, no. Let's try. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's not ugly as sin. All right. So let's get this set up. So we're gonna take it, turn it into a value, take the color values, turn it into a float 4. So it's like it's a vector. Let's get that set up before I leave my brain. Nope. it now. Delete. It's there forever. Right click, delete. Thank you. Yeah, make full. That's what we meant to do. All right. So we're going to take each of this. So can you mess with it mathematically? We're going to multiply it by something. I'll put that down there. So it's down there. It's going to be like whatever comes out of here. I can't imagine anything else. Oh, it's going to be something else. You tricked me. Okay. That makes sense. So that makes sense. So he's gonna, you pick your ugly color and then you say how intense you want it. I'll default to, he's defaulting it to 0.5. I want a little bit brighter because I want it to be obvious. We can fart around with this later, right? All that is alpha. All that is for alpha, huh? Which makes sense. So all this, it goes into the alpha. All this mess, because all this mess is about whether you can see it or not. And so that's, if it clamps to 0 or 1, it'll be either you see it or you don't. And that's where this lerp, why this lerp has an alpha in it. All right. I'm picking up what you're putting down. And that goes into there. Shabam. For shits and giggles. That worked. Okay. What have I done? So far, nothing. It looks the same as it did before. All right, so we've done that. Yes, and is this post-process volume? All right, so it's kind of a skyboxy thing, eh? So let's give that a shot. So we've got this. Here's our level. Oh, it looks so like nice and clear here. I don't know why it's looking so good today, but it's looking today. Let's add our post. Oh, Jesus. Post process volume. Hey, hello. It's gonna get the same thing as before. Bound. Oh, hello. Hello. Sometimes you just gotta like. All right, post process volume. Nope. No. None of that. None of that for you. Oh, that's interesting. It like did things. It shouldn't be doing things. Some weird stuff. All right. Unbound. All right. Let's try. I'll close this. Okay, so that exists forever. All right, so let's. So he was saying his param1 was wrong. Oh, that's what you get for like having like random unnamed stuff. All right, so we've got that. We've got hold on. I need to go back a little bit because I swear. Ah, it's closed. That's why I didn't see it. Jerk. Let's add. Oh, it's not. All right. Well, I'm gonna roll with this for now. So I'm thinking for this, maybe we should just have. Can I add this into like a character? Like render custom. Do I have this? I have to set the kit. Give me a second. Let's try it on the box. Let's start on here. Try it on here for to start. Um, Whoa, sorry everyone. Render. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, hey, there it is. So here's the question. Is it easier to add a post-process volume to our guest character, or to add, to turn, if I go, well, if I open the guest character, right? I can turn it off the mesh. See what happens. Oh, 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 oh. Uh, oh, it didn't crash. It was lame. Interesting. So, like, it's still live. It's still live. All right. It's the mesh to. Oh, no. It was just being weird. There it is. Oh, it's pretty thin. It's pretty thin. Let's go change that. So I'm thinking, would it be better to, as part of this, where's, I want to see my, would it be better to have, can I do that here? Is that compile? Is it gonna let me do this? Is it gonna let me do this? It's gonna let me do this. So let's try this. So if we go over here, oops. Where is our post-process volume? Let's delete this here. And then go over here and we'll do the same thing. Okay, compile. And then let's hop over here. I said that wasn't thick enough, right? So let's make this line width. Stupid little tiny numbers. Big. Go big or go home, right? This happened last time, right? The first time it didn't like it. And I was like, oh, I don't know how this works. Maybe I need to wait for like something to happen. Now it's like, oh, ooh, ooh, I didn't mean to put that there. Oh, oh, oh. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, oh, no good. Oh, there we go. All suspicious. All suspicious again. All right. All right. So what if we, wait. Let's make sure this guy, turn it off on this guy. Because I'm thinking the reason I see it on here, even though I don't have it surrounded, is because the camera is in there. So it's like I will render in there. Yeah, there we go. And you've got your puke color. Just uneasy, uneasy. All right, that's cool. We got that going. So we have all these parameters. Is there a way I can like input these parameters like a default value, right? Or is the idea that I actually like, oh, save a child. So I can make like a child class of this. That makes more sense. And let's make this 2. One was a little bit out of control. No, that's not mine. That's the that's Unreal Engine. I'm gonna wait. I'm pretty sure that problem is that I like sit there and it like goes nuts. So the question is then, how can I make it so it only turns on when I want to? That's another thing. How do I enable, disable? Oh, there we go. Oh, that's a whoa, that's a yeah. All right, and then you see this guy skulking about back here. Do 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 do. There we go. Do 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 do. And you can see through because you know there's a creepo back there. Nice. All right. So, question, of course, is how do we get this connected to a gameplay ability, effect, clue, cue? Since it's on the guest character. Ooh, ooh, of course, of course, of course. What happens? What happens? No off position to the genius switch, folks. I've got this. I'm probably gonna get rid of. I don't think I'm even using this one. Anyways, what if we just go something like what am I gonna put in here? Just gonna put this. And the compile default is none. And then, so right now we've got the unease, right? So if we go, give me a second, give me a second. Let's go first. Let's roll with this. What is it? It's the character. Good. Because if it's the character, then we can say cast. Oops, I didn't mean to push anything. Cast to the and as guest character, we're going to set our material to this. Bang, bang. Cast failed. Get the hell out. And then on end on. Give me a second. It would be this guy. This one doesn't have the actor. Do I need to save it? Do I have to save it? Or am I going about this the wrong way? I might have to think about how I'm doing this. Because if this is how you use these, then it could be one, then this wouldn't have the gameplay abilities as a gameplay effect. It'd be like a gameplay cue, but that's a little bit whack. I'll look into it. To be honest, right now I'm pretty satisfied with the fact I do have our actually first of all I have to run it explode. If I don't have that material in there. What did I do? So better tell. satisfied of having the R set up because that's part of the whole idea of the game. It should be able to do that. Anybody who essentially the reason the bad guy would do bad things is the fact that they get pointed out. And then you have to do like, okay. Then if you don't do things soon enough, you start getting pointed out. The things you've done start getting pointed out, so you have to keep doing things. So that's a good thing to have. So I'm gonna wrap it here for now, and then I'll go to do some research on like how are we gonna apply this to the character as a gameplay effect. So I'm gonna come back not next week because I'm gonna be away. Maybe in 2 weeks. 1 week, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Next. I think 2 weeks. I mean, you know, I have to use the outlook that I've lost confidence in. The 25th is when we get back. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You know we built that long? Oh, really? Right. 2 weeks. I will see you then.